This You Into Golf PGA Championship update is brought to you by Mountain Land Supply, Zions Bank, Black Desert Resort, Hoops Vision, and Siegfried and Jensen. Now, here's Real Golf Radio's Bob Casper.
DJ PK and Bob Casper joins us. The PGA Championship is on the horizon. Valhalla, Kentucky. Bob, are you ready for a draft?
Yeah, I'm ready for a draft. I have to excuse my voice. I'm nursing a cold a little bit, so it's a little deeper than normal. But
that sounds
I
sexy.
may have to cough, but I'll use my mute button when I have to cough.
Had a kid.
Roy McIlroy, man.
What are the rules this time?
Whatever you make, it's your show.
Oh, it's not my show.
It's DJ's show.
It's DJ's show.
Yeah.
The rules are PK got mad enough that you won the Masters by taking Scheffler with the first pick that now he wants to rotate the first pick.
Nah, we can keep
Enough giving the guest the first pick.
Is he a guest anymore? Is he still a house guest?
You can rotate the first pick.
Nah.
But I'm changing my connection pick to Scotty Scheffler.
There's a new rule.
Nice.
So
You don't even need any other picks.
yeah, because my daughter lives in Austin and Scotty lives in Austin.
Close
so
enough. But Scheffler was
I'm
born in New
connected.
Jersey, and so was I.
I know, but it's not where he's born; it's where he wins, and he lives in Austin.
How about he's got the layoff with the wife having the daughter, and you got McIlroy with the divorce, and you're wondering if that's a distraction. But he won last week, and I could tell you, man, my first divorce, it was rough, but apparently McIlroy, he's just plowing right ahead.
Well, PK, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that. These guys are so good at compartmentalizing what they do on the golf course and what they do off the golf course. I think Rory was in a bigger conundrum with thinking about it over the last 6 months than I think he was once he made the decision. Once he made the decision, I think it freed him up, and he's won the last two events he's played in. So I think he blew the field away in the final round last week. He shot 65 on a course that, he beat everybody by 3 or 4 shots in the final round. So I think Rory has freed himself up, where Scotty Scheffler, he has a little one now. There's a lot to play for. He's excited, but he's playing this week. He could be a first time winner with being a dad. So it's pretty cool that you have Scotty's story and this going on when we're at a major championship.
Could you argue that Rory struggles the last few years? I mean, who knows what's going on in anybody's life, right?
Yeah.
The older we get, the more we know that we just don't know what anybody else is going through on any given day. But when to your point, I totally buy what you're saying, but I look at Rory's struggles over years and whatever problems or issues they were having. I've heard it said, and I play golf at such a low level, what does it matter to me? But I've heard it said that when you're at a high level, PGA Tour level, your golf game reflects your life. If your life is troubled, your golf game is troubled. Yeah. And when you talk about Scotty Scheffler, everybody has their own belief system and all of that, but he's comfortable with his.
Yeah.
And that puts him in a good spot. And there's just calm. There's no, as two San Diego guys and a guy who loved L.A. and loves going to the beach in L.A., there's no undertow. The water, when the water looks calm with Scheffler, it's because the water is actually calm. There's no riptide underneath the surface. And maybe Rory had a riptide for a while, because it doesn't make any sense that he hasn't won a major in a decade. It doesn't make any sense.
And the other thing that kind of points towards that is back in November, he wanted off the Players Advisory Board. And he was the main guy. He was the guy that has been championing the PGA Tour for the last couple of years when Liv made their break and that kind of thing. He wanted off the board in November, and yet here we are in April and May, and he wants back on the board now. So maybe it was simply the fact that he was working on spending more time with family, working on his marriage, that kind of thing. But now that the decision's been made and he's filed for divorce in Florida, now he wants back on the board and he wants right in the mix of everything again. So I think that, like you said, troubling waters, and he's been dealing with it for a while.
Yeah, but you aren't two San Diego guys, because if that's the case, then Scheffler's a Jersey guy. It's where you live. You're two Utah guys, buddy.
Yeah.
No,
so quit
Scheffler's
talking out of both
guy.
of your sides of the mouths, because I'm sick of both of yous.
He just wants Scheffler in Jersey so he can claim him. You're putting
I'm
Scheffler's
just going by
family in
Bob's
Austin.
rules, and then you change it. I adhere to Bob's rules.
Whose rules are these? Whose rules are these? The connection to the player, that's your rules, PK. And so, Austin, I got Scotty Scheffler. I'm switching out.
We've been talking about, before we get to the draft, how you look at some sports like basketball with the playoffs going on, and how there's a lot of players whose dads played in the NBA. But yet you look at the PGA Tour, and you can go back as far as you want to go back. And a lot of their sons, like yourself, great golfers on the street, so to speak, but yet for whatever reason, there's not sons who have been able to have that big-time breakthrough like we see with a Ken Griffey or a Steph Curry, whose dads played in the big leagues. Do you have any theory as to why that is?
I don't really know for sure. As far as being the son of a professional golfer that is a Hall of Famer, it seems to me that like my dad grew up an only child, and it was kind of something that he loved and that he was really good at, and he worked hard at it growing up. I think maybe it kind of visualized it was his way to make an impact in life. So I think as far as kids of professional golfers are concerned, I think, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but maybe it could be that life has been great and they've seen what their father has done, and they're excited about it, but they maybe haven't seen what it's taken all their lives to get where they are, and it might not spend enough time on it, or it becomes a little bit easier for them.
I also think there's this dominant overall physical presence you have to have. And Marvin Harrison has it, and his dad was a great wide receiver, and now he's a great wide receiver. Nobody argues that he should be a high draft pick. We all think he's going to have an awesome career. And you get that in football, baseball, and basketball to one degree or another. But in golf, so much rides on your ability to make some 15 or 20-foot downhill putt that's got a 2-foot break in it. And I just think the margin between, I think we've all, no matter how good you are or aren't, we've all hit great putts that almost went in and didn't. And that will cost you your tour card. That'll cost you the win. Yeah. And it's such a fine line. It's a really good putt from 20 feet with that 3-foot break in it, but you didn't make it.
And the other thing is you, in other sports, you see more a team aspect. So you have other people around you, where golf it's straight up you. And so you've got to be, like you said, and like you both said, you've got to be able to perform and not rely on anybody else. It's all on your shoulders, and how you deal with the pressure, how you deal with the shots that you can hit, the putts you can make, everything like that. Where a guy catches a ball 6, 7, 8 times a game. And there's 80 plays, 70 to 80 plays in a game in football. So it just depends on on how you believe in yourself and what you're able to do with your talent in an individual sport like golf.
Before we get to the draft, last thing, Brian thinks it's double digits under par, well into double digits under par to win this tournament again, which I guess is the history when it's been at Valhalla. You thinking the same thing? Whoever wins this thing is going low, way low.
Yeah. 16 and 18 have been the last couple of times they've played here with Tiger and Rory.
Okay.
You know, they've had some moisture. They've had some moisture the last 2 days. They're supposed to have moisture not the first round, but the second and the third round, which will soften up the greens. And because they've had that, the greens are going to be very receptive. The golf course is a big golf course. Everybody in their interviews has said this is a big golf course. So there's not going to be any like strategy, irons off tees, things like that. Guys are going to be hitting drivers and 3-woods off of tees, getting it down there as far as they can, so they have mid to short irons into the greens. And the guys that are the bigger hitters are going to be the guys that are going to take advantage of being able to get the ball close to the hole and throw darts, so to speak, because of the moisture in the golf course. So, excuse me. Yes, I think it's going to be double digits, mid double digits. That's probably going to win this week.
All right, let's get to the draft. We've got our regional picks. You've got Xander Schauffele because he went to San Diego State. And
I got Scotty Scheffler.
I got Tony Finau because my kid went to West just like Tony. And PK's got John Rahm because they both went to Arizona State.
Right.
All right, round one, Bob. I know who I want. Are you going to take him? You have the first pick.
You want me to pick?
Yep, you're going first.
Or is PK going first?
No, you're going first.
You can go.
Okay. Well, you know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Rory McIlroy coming off a win.
We all were.
So I got Scheffler and McIlroy again.
Yeah, we all were.
Do you want Tiger and Jack also?
Give him Arnold while you're at it.
When Jack won, or when Tiger won at this golf course, he played with Jack in the first 2 rounds.
There it is.
All right. Well, I would have taken Rory if you hadn't, but I'll go ahead and take Scotty Scheffler. I know we all would, right, Roy?
No, I got Scotty Scheffler.
No, you don't have Scotty Scheffler.
I have him with my regional pick.
Xander Schauffele is your regional pick.
What?
Xander Schauffele is your regional pick.
No.
It has been for a while. It is now.
Scotty was on the bench. Now Scotty's my regional pick.
Stop. I've got Scheffler.
You serious?
No, you really don't.
No. If I would have known I didn't have Scotty Scheffler, I would have picked Scotty.
Oh, you can go ahead and pick Scotty, and I'll take Rory.
Okay, you got it.
All right, you have Scotty, and I have Rory.
Okay, so Xander's my guy.
Well, Rory is Irish, and my grandfather came over from Ireland, so my territorial pick is Rory.
Okay. Bob took Scotty. I took Rory. Who you taking, PK?
Oh, my gosh. Those are the two guys. Everybody wants those guys.
Well, you said you didn't think Scheffler would do it. Too long a layoff.
I would still pick him.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, those two are the two obvious picks. They may not win.
Rory.
They may not win, but they're the two obvious picks. If you're not picking them, something's wrong.
The odds makers have said that. All the gamblers are picking them. That's why the odds are so short.
I haven't seen the odds, but that would make total sense.
Yeah, I have, and they do make sense.
Absolutely, I'd pick those two guys. You'd be fools not to.
Who would you like third?
I think I'll go with my Ludwig guy.
Okay.
Your
Ludwig guy? The guy I discovered and picked in the Masters?
Guy I told you about.
The guy I discovered?
Yeah, he didn't win, so shut up. When I discovered Scheffler, he won. Because Ryan Smith told me about him.
After Ryan Smith discovered him. But Ryan's not here to defend himself, so you'll just take all the credit. Second round, Bob, who do you like?
Oh, my goodness. I really don't want to pick this guy, but you know what? Back-to-back PGA championships. He's already done it once, so I'm going Brooks.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but I was going to pass on him because he let me down at the Masters.
He's a big game golfer, though.
He is, and I won with him a year ago. So I'm going to go, because of your tag team radio partner, I'm going to go with Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay.
He said that. I thought about doing that.
Yep.
And I probably would have done that.
That's his dark horse pick.
That's what he said. Yeah.
It is, and I want to give Brian a little skin in the game. I like his logic there, so I'll go Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was going to do that.
Yep.
I'll go with Homa.
Okay, PK.
Who?
Max Homa.
Max Homa.
You know, PK, this is going to warm your heart. That was going to be my next pick.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Took him off the board right in front of Bob. Good work. All right, final round, Bob. Who do you have?
Final round. See,
I'm typing my name in right now. I'm typing this out. I'll send you the stuff as soon as we're done here. And I've got my guy. You better not take him.
I'm going to say Will Zalatoris.
Willie Z.
Okay, Will Zalatoris. I will take Wyndham Clark.
We just interviewed him last week.
How was he?
He was great. He's a big fly fisherman.
Is he?
Yep.
You get out to Utah?
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Utah and Wyoming, and yep, he's a good dude. He was really, really nice.
All right, I'm going to go down under.
Cameron Smith.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, there we have it. Bob, you have Scheffler, Koepka, and Zalatoris, plus Xander Schauffele.
Okay.
I got McIlroy, Fleetwood, and Clark, plus Tony Finau. And PK. Did we want to do long shots outside the top 25, or are we good?
It's up to you guys.
We can do long shots.
I'm not the commissioner.
Who you got for a long shot?
I'm going to go Jordan Spieth. Career Grand Slam.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He's outside the top 25, so that actually works, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
We're being told
that's close enough.
Sahith Theegala. How far out is he? You got him on the rankings over there, Yak?
That's a good pick.
He's number 12 in the world. Come on.
No, that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
That's a little high.
Okay.
Again.
Okay. Now I'm gonna. Is it Steven Jaeger? Jaeger. Total flyer.
Okay. Steven Yeager.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go down under again because of the way he dressed this week.
You were going to go Jason Day?
Yeah.
Where is he, Yak?
Oh, he's got to be way low, isn't he?
Jason Day's outside the top 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just saw on social media the way he was dressing this week.
No, actually, check that. Jason Day is 19.
Is that too low?
Well, it was supposed to be outside the top 25, and we picked 12, 19, and 24. We're good at this game. We all took top 25 guys.
You took the only real long shot. Now you got Steven Yeager on your
Yeah, I
list.
actually took a long shot now. He'll miss the cut.
All right, I'll do Shane Lowry.
Shane Lowry. He's legit, right, Yak?
Yeah, he's outside the...
There we go. Okay, Shane Lowry.
Because he's Irish.
There we go.
My grandfather was born in Ireland.
Okay.
Exactly like Rory.
like
I
it.
mean, Rory and I are practically best friends, and I don't get him.
You guys are
Best friend.
you guys are ninth cousins 3 times removed.
I mean, yeah. I mean, his grandfather was born over there. My grandfather was born over there. Come
Your
on.
family.
Yeah.
Your family.
And if you give me an extra 170 yards, I'd drive it as long as he does.
Yeah, at least.
Bob, we appreciate it as always. Thanks a lot. We will check back with you later in the week.
All right, guys.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Everything you missed in this show is coming up next. Stay with us.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
I need you to explain to me what the complainers were complaining about, or the complainers who were complaining about the complaining.
Complainers complaining about the complainers.
That one.
The initial complaint is that you tanked, you lost all these games, you went 5-25 down the stretch. The problem was the 2 teams that leapt them were the 2 teams the Jazz tanked so hard to surpass in the lottery standings.
So the tankers were saying that they should have won more?
No!
But it is proof that tanking is a flawed strategy at best. At best. These teams that didn't quote-unquote tank, they were actually legit that bad.
Well, Atlanta made the play-in tournament, didn't tank, and Brooklyn doesn't own their own pick, so they had no reason to tank.
Right, and bam, jumping up.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. We've talked about a lot of stuff this morning. We had Tim Lacombe on. You want a basketball conversation? We hit the NBA playoffs and University of Utah basketball. He concurred that was a brilliant performance by Jokic. They're up 3-2 on Minnesota, and if Jokic plays like that, it's hard to believe anybody's going to beat him.
I believe Steve Kerr would concur.
Steve Kerr would concur. You just want to concur? I believe many people who watch basketball would concur. That was obviously a brilliant performance.
I mean, he was more great.
40 points, 13 boards, 7 assists, 80-foot baseball passes to get Jamal Murray an easy layup.
And he painted the black.
Yeah, he did. Contested 3 with a 7-foot guy jumping at him, and he hits it. Going to the hoop, pump faking everybody out of the way and dropping in old man hook shots.
I know.
It was a tour de force.
He's fun to watch.
It was really impressive.
And he's such an all-shucks guy.
Yeah. That video you had of all someone interspersed all the NBA guys with their off-season workouts, the lifting weights and the running and doing extreme stuff, really pushing their bodies physically, and it's all interspersed with Jokic singing, dancing, riding a horse, just hanging out.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
Enjoying life. There's a coach in our community who has a friend who's a neighbor of Jokic over in Denver. And he's told me that the guy is just the ultimate average Joe. If he's going out to get the mail and he'll chat with you, and, if you're taking out the garbage cans, he's just a regular dude who is his
best player in basketball
on the planet.
Now.
Yeah. And he told me that a couple years ago, that he's just a funny, average guy that everybody in the hood likes, and he doesn't big-time anybody.
Jalen Brunson also had quite the game, 44 points. I mean, the thing with Joker is at least he is a 7-footer, right? In a big man's game, he's a big man. Jalen Brunson's a little man in a big man's game, but he got it done. The Pacers are a terrible road team. They were a terrible road team again. They're 1-5 on the road in the playoffs. And they're now down 3-2, and they're going home where they're undefeated in the playoffs, so maybe they can force a Game 7. But got to do better on the road, and that one wasn't close. Knicks by 30.
We don't see a lot of big-time free agents move. And when Brunson left Dallas to go to New York, he wasn't considered a big-time free agent. But now he's a big-time player. And to me, as I look at these teams and how they got to where they got, it's all centered and comes back to the Jazz. How can they get there? What do they need to do? And if you're going to spend money on a free agent, that's the type of result that you're going to need, because you're probably not going to get a big-time free agent to come here. But if you can get that guy who's ascending, and obviously Brunson's game has ascended to incredible heights that we didn't necessarily see in Dallas. Maybe there was a hint of it, but not to this level.
There was only a hint of it.
But we put on some big games there in the playoff with Doncic out.
And that's the key. Doncic was out, and that's where you get the hint of it. Otherwise, Doncic has the ball, and it's hard to show what you can do. Unless your game really is spot-up 3 guy, that's who really complements Doncic.
Yeah, and that's not his.
Easily.
He can shoot the 3, but his game is the craftiness that he displays is really impressive.
His brain computes every angle.
He's fun to watch in his own right, a different form of fun or a different form of accomplishing it, but the way he does it is really enjoyable to check out.
Cavs and Celtics tonight. Boston can wrap the series up in 5. They're up 3-1 tonight, going to Cleveland, and we'll see if Donovan Mitchell plays or not. He missed Game 4.
Word, not official word, but reports just coming down from Sham saying that he is not playing tonight.
I don't know that it matters.
Boston's going to get her done. Mavericks and Thunder 2-2. I think the Thunder probably win Game 5. You're a definite maybe. You don't have any idea, but you watch the game at 7:30 on TNT.
Oh, most definitely.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I can't say I have a feel either way.
Bronny James won you over at the NBA Combine, talking about his mindset is not about playing with his dad. It's about making it in the NBA.
Listen to him speak. Yeah, maybe he had some training or maybe he's just naturally good at it. I'm not sure. But asking those questions about playing with his father and all this stuff, just saying that I want to make my own name. I want to see if I can make it in the NBA. That other stuff, that's what he's talking about, but it's not really what I've been talking about. So he's not looking to gravy train anybody. I was really impressed with the way he handled those answers and all that type of stuff. That made a whole lot of sense to me, and I became a fan.
Tim Lacombe also talked about...
Not a fan.
Happy birthday, Tim Lacombe. 54 today, he says. And we talked to him about Andre Miller and the speculation that Andre might be joining the Ute coaching staff. Could that happen? Some people view interested, maybe some people view not so interested. How does that work out? We're kind of at the end of the hiring transfer cycle, so it's hard to believe that it can have much impact on next season. Now, having said that, that could be true, and you find one player and they can make a big impact. But I think now this is more about making a move that'll help down the line.
Well, Andre Miller walks through that door of a transfer portal, of a recruit, whoever it might be. I stop talking and listen.
There should be a lot of credibility there, given what he accomplished in college and what he accomplished in the pros.
Right. And he could probably go sit in his porch somewhere with all the money he made, but he wants to do this. He's 48 years old, and he wants to continue to develop himself. And he was a true legend here. There's just no doubt about it. He's a historical legend that will be a historical legend for the rest of time, and for all that he did. And I talked to about 5-6 people to try to get a feel for this, and one guy that I really, really trust said, yeah, they should do it, and he listed all the reasons, and thinks that it's going to happen. Now he wasn't guaranteeing me, but he would say, if I'm a betting man, I'm thinking that it's going to happen. So we'll see, man. That'd be great. It's a tough situation. Craig Smith's trying to get his program to where he wants it to go, and bring in Andre and boosters. Do we want one of our own guys coaching? That sounds good and all that stuff. And I don't necessarily know that you need that. Majerus wasn't your own guy. He was a guy who came here and took it to incredible lengths. Do you need one of your own guys right now? I mean, I guess you can argue that.
You need something, and that looks like something. There's no
guarantee. The program needs a jolt and some buzz, yeah.
You listed you listed many of the high-profile guys who went home, and it didn't work.
Yeah, Drexler, Mullen, Ewing.
There's 3 high-profile examples.
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
Right.
Superstars.
Andre's been coaching in the G League. He's got an interest in coaching. He's done some youth high school level stuff. In addition to that, now the obvious hole in the resume is you'd be hiring someone who's brand new to the college game and all the college rules. And a lot has changed since he played. But his credibility with the boosters, they need NIL money, and they're in a bind, which is an entirely predictable bind. If you're a Georgia football booster or an Alabama or Ohio State football booster, we know why you write the checks. We're a little stunned, but your team is winning, and it's great. But if you're writing those checks, and then you write those checks again, and it never pays off with anything, why do you keep writing those checks?
That'll be an interesting thing looking forward to in 5-10 years.
Right. And I can see where the U's feeling a little bit of that right now. I think that it's not like, there could certainly be schools in a more desperate situation. But if everybody's goal is another $1 or $2 million more than they've got right now, how do you get somebody to write that next check for $100,000, $250,000, $500,000?
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
But it's got to be written.
It does have to be written. It makes sense as somebody who's 55, 60, 65 years old in a position where they've got some disposable income with a comma in the middle there or two. They're going to remember Andre, and he's going to have a ton of credibility.
Commas are good.
Yeah.
Comes to sentences, you can get to be a run-on.
Yes.
That's bad.
True.
But money, cash, and Andre would give you a big time jolt. I mean, he's a down home kid who's got a great American success story, and just dripping with credibility, particularly at Utah. And one of the guys I was talking to, the guy who told me he thought that it was going to happen, said he satisfies the question of black kids coming to Utah. He just there's no one who can
argue with him,
and there's no one who can deliver that answer like he can. Literally no one. He can sell that, or sell's the wrong word, but he can speak to that with the most credibility in basketball.
So he checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
But it isn't done.
And I don't know if it is. I honestly, I don't know. But
the strongest thing you heard was it isn't, but somebody thinks it could be.
He said
could get across the finish line.
He thinks it's going to happen, that there's some administrators at Utah pushing for it. Obviously, we would know the name of one. And there's somebody else, I don't want to say his name, but if you said it, you'd say, oh, yeah, well, that's a no-brainer. And he can get the job done. And the world has changed of recruiting. You know, it's like, remember when Oregon was making its mark? Oh, the kids like shiny helmets. You remember hearing that, right?
Yep.
Well, what does that have to do with X's and O's? You know what I mean?
Nothing.
They're like shiny helmets. I pulled my hair out when I heard that.
Urban Meyer once said, I wish recruiting was about whether, somebody liked a chemistry professor. But he said, it's about the swoosh and those 4 letters, ESPN. And the world of recruiting has changed because now it's about NIL.
Right. So it looks like on the surface he'd be a great addition.
Anything else you want to tell the people about that we discussed earlier in the show? If you just turned on the radio and missed Bob Casper, our draft is up and online. Y'all could get that posted.
I hope I win and you guys don't.
Yep, I'm not surprised by that.
Shouldn't you feel the same way?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Well, so what makes you so different than me?
There isn't much difference.
If I'm an SOB, so are you.
I think the one difference is you're more likely to win than me, history says.
You never know. It's a crapshoot.
Be caller 12 right now. It's time for the UNA Golf Major Giveaway, 801-575-ZONE. You'll be assigned a golfer in the PGA Championship field this week. If your assigned golfer wins, you'll win the same brand of putter they play, up to a $500 value. It's brought to you by UNA Golf, simply the best golf stores in Utah since 1971.
Your home for Real Salt Lake is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Real Salt Lake, the Western Conference leaders are back in action tonight. The Seattle Sounders are in town. Pre-game show at 6:30. First kick at 7:30 here on The Zone.
Catch every moment of every RSL match right here on your exclusive home of Real Salt Lake. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join Hans and Scotty live tomorrow at the Cedar Hills Golf Course for the Dyslexia Center of Utah Charity Golf Tournament. DJ and PK, it is time for your feedback, and we're getting a ton of feedback this morning.
Feedback.
Should Utah hire Andre Miller as an assistant basketball coach?
What do they say?
Yes, Coach Ike says. He coaches in L.A. He's got outstanding recruiting routes throughout Southern Cali. It's Andre. For heck's sake, yes, all caps.
He doesn't coach in L.A. I don't know where he got that. It was Grand Rapids, wasn't it? Michigan?
G League. Didn't he? And after he grew up in L.A., but he was doing the high school youth thing in San Diego, wasn't he?
He did some in Arizona, then he did some San Diego.
Yeah.
And that stuff is all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then became the G League coach last year.
Will, no, they should not hire Andre because I love that man, and I don't think he deserves this fate. Will's given up. It can't be saved. Rock.
Oh, yes, it can.
Why even talk about it? Not even Utah fans care about their basketball program.
Yes, they do.
Don't confuse not caring with don't want to spend money to go to the game and watch them lose.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why I think Andre's in the running is because of the care factor. It's actually reverse. They definitely care. There's no doubt they care.
Renaissance man, they should hire Andre. Eventually, he should be the Utes head coach. Define eventually. If it's in 1 year, it would be hard for the current coach to get excited about hiring him. If this is something like 5 years down the line, sure, current coach could have success and move on to a better paying job.
Don't know it, but I believe that's an issue.
Road wins, home losses says, well, I guess having a taller than average human to help put up the curtains would make sense. See, that's comedy right there.
Ha, ha, ha.
Dr. Kansas State Ute. Well, how about making him the head coach? ASAP.
I believe that means as soon as possible.
It does. But Ronald Rupert, who actually uses his name on Twitter, how unusual.
But not Ronald Acuna?
Brings the, not Ronald Acuna, who says, does he have any coaching experience? No, I don't know. He was a great player at Utah, so maybe.
Yeah, there's something to be said. You've got to have some level of coaching experience, but you're not bringing him in as the head coach. I think one of the great mistakes was bringing in Ty Detmer as the OC as opposed to the quarterback coach and just getting him...
Let him crawl, walk, run, fly, as opposed to, here you go, no training wheels, make it happen.
Right. Coaching at a lower level at the high school, not even at the higher level, but a lower level, clearly did not prepare him for that.
And in retrospect, nor should it have.
When you think about it, that's absolutely right. It didn't add up. But you're not bringing him in as a head coach.
You got to be careful bringing a big name thinking you're going to catch lightning in a bottle. You still got to be able to do the grind.
I believe over time it could have worked for Ty, but no one has time.
Not as the OC. You don't have that kind of time. Maybe you would have had that time.
Well, Kalani didn't have time.
Maybe you would have, right. But maybe there would have been time if he'd been brought in as a quarterback coach. Now,
exactly.
That's a job that's largely, there's exceptions, but I think that job's largely been folded in offensive coordinators, and they deploy that coach somewhere else on the staff.
Or as an analyst or something that he could have, there's other ways he could have come on board rather than here's the entire offense, go.
I read an interesting story that the last 3 years, the hirings in college football head coaches at the Power 5 level have trended away from hiring G5 coaches and have trended towards hiring Power 5 coordinators, because even making the G5 to Power 5, you're managing so many more people, so many more resources. You have to be in that world. The coaching in G5 is that different because the money gap and the number of people and the resources, it's become like a different deal. And we've always thought that between D2 and D1. Occasionally you see a D2 coach move up, but not very often. Maybe a little more in basketball than in football.
Yeah, I'm running through hires in my mind right now when you said that.
There are guys who move from 1AA, but even when they do that, a lot of them do like the Jay Hill route.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's for sure.
Go be a coordinator. Yeah. You could be a head coach one day, but then there's a lot more that goes into it. There's way more moving parts when you put that many people in the mix.
Right. No one doubts Jay Hill's qualifications.
Well, it's what you said earlier. Everybody knows the X's and O's, but how do you manage people? And as you're given a bigger staff, it gets trickier. And if you go back, and it was a different era, but Hall of Famers, how good was Lavelle Edwards at managing people? He was great at it.
And you can have knowledge, a tremendous amount of knowledge, but how do you teach that knowledge?
Right. And how do you coach your coaches? How do you coach your analysts? And how do you coach your players?
Yeah.
And how do you pass that info all along? Candace says, why not hire Andre? He learned under a great coach. I do believe that. I think most coaches who are great, you go through the coaching tree, it doesn't come out of nowhere. They played for or coached under a great coach. And if you want to go Rick Majerus, well, okay, Al McGuire, right? There's a guy who won a national championship, and Rick was sitting right there and seeing how it was done. And you can go through NFL coaching trees, and it's amazing how good coaches go back and
well, you played for 17
coaches.
Years in the NBA.
You know a little something.
You can't help but learn.
Right. Right. And so now you look at his pedigree of all these good coaches that he played for, right?
I mean, me as a dumb beat writer.
You picked up a lot.
Learned the game from a guy like Majerus and listen to him and talk to him and see what's important and where he's going and what he thinks. And, yeah, I did learn a lot of hoop from him and what was important in terms of producing a winning basketball program.
Anthony, I realize it's for engagement, but these are always the dumbest questions, David DJ James.
But it's real.
I know. It is real. I don't think it's stupid. Yeah, it's for engagement. We want to know what you people think. Believe it or not, some of you people think interesting stuff.
Well, that's the essence of sports radio right there. The give and take.
Yeah.
The opinion.
Right. And people have had, there's some goofballs in here.
And that was on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, report him and block whatever you were telling me about.
I'll do that with somebody else. There's another one here I can't even read.
Is it obscene?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Off of that question?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know. Just because I'm sitting in the basement,
like what?
Mad at the world.
Give me a hint. Or show me.
Was it you two, and you as you, not Y-O-U, who made it their mission, their T-H-E-R-E, to run Rick out because, C-U-Z, he was mean to that bleep Britain. The you guys university did that man was chicken bleep. And then
Majerus is going to run himself off.
The curse of Rick Majerus lasting eternity over that school of liberal bleeps.
What?
The curse of Rick Majerus lasting an eternity over that school of liberal bleeps.
That's coming out of left field. I don't even know what to say on that one.
I totally agree. Yeah. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Jake and Ben are up next.